Read it.
All
three of those executives.
Seriously? Did you really? I use Walter Cronkite. Because his name came up in my lorem. I did a journalism ipsum. So his name was, so I did the link and then I made the gallery.
Who is ready to build their own theme?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we still have some topics to cover on the UI or using the WordPress and configuring it to the dashboard, but we're going to do more of that intertwined with building some theme presses so that you guys can start learning this. I know you've been all waiting for.
I just made them.
And it looks like our recording is going. That was exciting.
Yeah, but it's hard to understand the theme, how the theme works if you don't upload the video,
Right.
put the content on.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's why we did it the way we did it. But now we're at the place where I think we can do a little bit of both at the same time.
So,
Otherwise, if you just start rebuilding the theme in Mario, you're right, it would be pretty much impossible.
I forgot how to write any code of any sort.
So you all know what the theme is now because we added some themes on our WordPress sites and we know that there were different ones and you can configure them. And it turns out that to create a theme for you can create your own themes. And to do so is going to be essentially like putting together a patchwork of different files. They're going to be written in PHP, and then we're going to have some HTML and CSS as well. And you can think about it this way, that the view of the blog page, for example, is different than the view of the single post page or just a static page. So they have different view and we have to construct them differently so that we can create the themes accordingly. And we're going to start very basic. We're going to start with the minimum requirement for building our own theme, which is to just have two files, index.php and styles.css. And our first theme, don't expect too much. It won't do much, but it will take us through the process of making one. Did you make a theme already, anybody else?
No.
Not yet?
I don't.
You have done it before, but okay,
Yeah.
it's a different class, right? So you can, again, feel free to jump in if you have any feedback. So what this means is that we're going to need different templates. These are some of the templates that we're going to need. For example, for the blog page, we're going to have index.php. Then we have single PHP, archives PHP, and so on. In fact, it turns out there is a hierarchy of different pages and how they relate. So we're going to take a look at it in a little bit.
So index is not the home page?
Index is going to be the first
The
page
first
that
page, okay.
shows up
Got it.
when you load your theme.
So,
The one I sent you.
Oh yes, I didn't put a link here. Okay.
I can show you.
So I'll try to remember to add a link to this, but codex theme hierarchy. So let's take a look here. So there is a lot to it. And again, we'll build up our way, but always remember to look at the codex for additional more in-depth information. And this is the official documentation. Here is the visual overview. I think that's the most helpful thing we can do right now. And you can see how many, just to get a little bit of an idea, how many different pages can go into a theme. And so if you don't have a theme, what is going to happen? Well, it's the same thing that happens in CSS. If you don't have a style sheet, it's going to pull up the default from the browser. So it's going to just pull up the default from the theme. But if you do have a theme, then it can use your own custom built theme. So this is the idea. And we have the index PHP. Not too overwhelming here, but you can see various different pages and how they relate. Single, you can, and we'll go through most of these, not tonight, but in several class sessions. You can create your own 404 page. If you have seen, I'm sure you've seen those with some cute cat There's another image. Search, comments, and you can patch them together so that part of your page might be from your theme, and then another part might be from the default theme coming through, and they can actually work in a seamless way. So that's pretty cool. I think it might make sense for us to just do this together tonight as a practice if we have FileZilla. So let's check, I guess, before we get started to make sure we have FileZilla. If most of us have it, we'll do it. If most of us don't have it, I'll just have to go through the... Okay, I have it, so let's see how many of you have it. All right. 4. Let me see if I can remember my... Actually, it might be saved here. So let's go ahead and do this plan. We're going to go through the steps along with the lecture. And the first step is to FTP to your site. So go ahead and bring up FileZilla and FTP to your site. And that means that you need to know your credentials. So take a moment. And if you work on localhost, I guess you do the same.
Yeah.
Do you have FileZilla here?
I have CyberDoc. Is
Okay,
there a
if
difference
you know how to
between-
use it, then you can.
Yeah.
All right, because I can't really assist you there.
This is what I use.
Okay. So let's connect.
And we're just uploading files.
Yeah, we just upload a couple files.
Okay, yeah. I can't use Tony.
Yay. Right. So you need to find your email where the title of the email was, I believe, web files. Let me see if I can find something here. So it will be DreamHost. I think maybe Google for search DreamHost FTP. No. Also, my subject and probably the same is DreamHost FTP only user activated. And this should give you your username and your FTP server name. So you need to look. Is anyone not sure what their FTP host name is? Raise your hand if you have a question at this point. Is everyone in except for me? All right, then let me catch up with you. All right. So log into your FTP. And then the second step, navigate to the WP content themes folder. And here, as you can see, you have the themes that you have currently installed on your WordPress. So we need to be under themes. And here is where we're going to create our new folder for our new theme, right, under themes. And this is going to be create directory. and this is going to be called first theme. And you can use a dash, or just for now, I just put it as one word, first theme. And then okay, and now if we refresh here, we have first theme as well as our,
Make a new file.
so you need to create directory.
I don't have a themes directory, so I just create one.
And it's in
Right, so you have to create a new directory under themes, and you must have themes. You should
WP
have
contents.
Content.
Yeah, that is something.
Admin, themes. Okay. And then create a new folder. Create a new folder.
Correct.
All right,
Did you name your folder?
First.
and then we need to add our required files next. So first, we have, so you can actually just create the blank, go ahead. Sure. You can just create the blank files index.php and styles.css in this folder. This would be enough. But I have some templates with a little bit more, so we're going to use those. But let me
Doesn't it-
magnify.
Another thing is, I heard that it's required that your CSS is named style.
Style, I'm sorry, it is style.
Okay.
That is exactly correct. I think I said styles, style.
So we're gonna
Um,
put,
Okay, so let me magnify for your request. All right, here you go. And then the next step would be that we need to add the two required files. So I have those files with a little bit more than blank for us, and now I have to actually exit here. Please go back to the lecture, and theme templates for the required files can be found here. So click on here. And then we have three files that we are going to download and then FTP. So those need to be saved to our local computer.
Save. How do you? I can't seem to download them.
And I'm just right clicking and save link as.
Save link as. Do you want to save the link?
Well, sometimes when you save the link, let me double check that. That should just have saved the. When you say save the link, it actually saves the file. So to do this from the UI, you can simply right click on the file and save link as, and then it's going to download it. Sometimes it depends a little bit how your machine is configured, but it won't be a link, it will be the actual file in this case. Right?
Thank you.
And I'll just put them on my desktop.
So strange. Oops.
So I'm going to make the local folder should match what you're uploading. So I'll make a folder first theme and then put it in here. Something.
Dude.
Need to grab this again. Okay, so let's do this. I don't know if it worked for you, but one of my files didn't download as I expected it to, and I won't speculate why. But we can just download from here the whole zip folder. it's a little bit of an overkill, but go ahead and get the zip file from first theme. Because I'll show you what happened here. It looks like in the process of the download, my PHP files were okay, but my styles got corrupted somehow. So
Oh, yeah.
it's weird, right? But instead, we'll just download the folder as a zip file, which is what normally you do. And then we'll just unzip it and it should be fine. I don't know why it did that. Okay.
Hold on.
This to avoid confusion as well.
Here's the folder.
What is it back here? One more download.
That doesn't work. Yeah, that doesn't work.
It's called WordPress master zip.
Where's that? This one?
All right. So the process that worked from downloading was to download the zip and then unzip it. Is everyone?
No.
Okay, go back here. Clone download.
No.
Download zip.
You got it?
I think it. Or post down.
So I'm gonna do this.
Jeremiah, how about you can still download those files and then just look at them. So then if it's only a matter of catching up with FTP, we can catch up with FTP. But if you go to the, well, we can do whatever we want, I guess, but if you want to just work with us, just go to Nook Houses, download those 3 files. All right. So now we have some other files here, but after you
Is your
download
style
it,
supposed to be commented out?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. After you downloaded the zip file, you need to unzip it, and then you will be, the result will be first theme. And we can take a look at it a little bit before we upload them. So it is, the content in the style.css is pretty important because it will allow WordPress to include your site, your theme to the site. And it is very important, in fact, that you get all these comments correctly. So some of them are required, some of them are optional, but you need to get them correctly, and then you don't want to change them. If you change after you have already uploaded your theme, this would only cause problems. But the first part here, before the column, you don't want to touch at all. You leave them as they are because WordPress is going to key off these terms when it includes the site. But then you need to change around for your particular site. Right now you can leave it like that. But when you're making your own theme, you're going to need to give it, awesome theme, and then change these particular attributes. The rest here, these are optional. Okay. So this is the CSS, and we have to upload the CSS style.css as such. Whereas the index, we can look through the code, but right now, even if we uploaded a blank one, it would still work. And functions, we won't really, let's not upload this right now. We're going to add functions later to create the menus. Okay. Right now, we're just trying to understand the process of getting a skeleton of a theme uploaded. So are we okay to continue to the next step, or are we having issues? We good? The next step would be then to go back to the FTP and then find those files and
Or find the folder and just
Well, I already created the folder, otherwise you could have dragged the folder. And we need to grab index.php and style.css, and we need to drag them in the first theme folder, okay?
So create folder as first theme.
Right, so we created a folder named first theme, and this is, it doesn't have to be called that, Mario.
But the folder is the same name, you can just drag the whole thing.
Yeah, it would replace it, that would be fine too. I don't want to put the functions right now. You can certainly do it. Yeah, you're right, you could. You could.
So it's just
But there is more than one way to do it for sure. The goal is to end up with index.php and style.css in the first theme folder, right? And if you want to replace the folder, you're right. That should be no problem.
And then you activate.
weird.
But if we did it the way I suggested, it would also not be a
Yeah,
problem.
it's like, sometimes you move the whole thing over the right.
Yeah. Okay. So we have those two files uploaded. Okay. I'm just looking at the file on the server to make sure it is the right one. I always, we should always double check. So that looks okay. And this looks fine. And again, right now we're not yet concerned what goes in the index.php. Okay, so after we have uploaded the files, what is our next step? Well, let's go. I asked you for now, you can put it, but I just want to show you the bare minimum, and I'm sorry that it probably should not have been there. For now, I ask you to only upload index and style because these are the two files that are required. I'm trying to show you the minimum requirement. So don't worry about functions right now, if you could. Okay? And then let's go back to Nook house, to your Nook houses. We have to log in. Okay, so after we logged in,
So we didn't already have all of these.
then where would we go looking for the themes?
There.
Oh, wow. How about that? So we have our first theme is showing. It doesn't have a screenshot yet. It doesn't have really anything, but there it is. So what we could do now is activate it.
Oh, so
Is it the fancy minimalist look?
fancy. So it's very minimalist.
I don't want to.
And there you have it. Your first theme. Okay? So
Look at that list.
this is the start.
I'm afraid to hit
And,
activate.
as you get
I just did.
more advanced with your theme, these are still the steps.
I
You
just
just
repeat.
want to add additional functions. Yeah. So keep on building up. But these are the basics.
Oh wait, I just hit activate. That's not what I meant to do.
Click respond. None of you haven't added anything.
Shit.
Well, I guess it's on its
How do you,
own.
I activated it by mistake.
Because you remember, like, you could look at stuff, but like if you don't have anything, a lot of times on there, yeah, it has minimal responses. And WordPress itself, I think, tries to do that too.
It's down there. You can see it. Scroll down.
What? What?
I look over and you're like,
I'm freaking out.
hey,
Because I activated it. I
Just
was
do
like,
a
I
live
didn't mean to. I didn't
preview.
mean to. Well, I was trying to figure out which one I was. Did I just turn into the dude in the basement in Office Space?
Why do you so many
I don't know, they're just there.
One thing I forgot is, I don't think that they might be face sensitive. I'm not sure. Maybe it is.
Can I copy the correctly? Okay.
I preview, there we
Yeah,
go.
that's fine.
So I put it here with the, my side.
You have to go there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And then you just go down, you get more things. So let's see what
Oh,
else.
I see.
Hold
What
on.
did you name it?
I do.
Okay. Or how do I do that? Because it looks like I don't have anything.
That's all because we have if you only get one, that's not, doesn't
So
correct because you don't get the other
Content is in
things
one of
there.
us, there's your voice.
There's a footer menu,
So let's go
but I don't
back
have my
to
pages.
FTP.
Oh, it's pulling from that. So, oh, because the pages aren't the same.
Then you only get one
You need
thing.
two pages.
You need to go into the WCPP.
In all my videos.
So click on your page.
Then your other feeds pull from your index
No, you need to stay in FTP.
style, especially do those.
Click on it, page figures.com.
Because
Click on the
these
manager side.
blogs at least are
This is the third one.
different, yeah, and it's just the homepage. Oh,
Oh,
Now,
oh, I didn't activate
I
it.
actually would go.
Oh,
What is your name?
you created it outside.
Oh,
Now, on the WP config, and the WP config, there's a themes folder, and then make
That's very gross.
So, yeah. So now if I go to the blogs, but I have no nav. So because I didn't,
That is your nav, but your nav's not styled.
no, this is not the nav. The nav has a value and everything.
So maybe I'll just download it and replace it. Or open it in anything, because it's very careful.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think you have to, function has functions.
You don't use function. Right?
No, because I have versions PHP uploaded.
It's in the- once you make it,
There's no nav.
so make sure to do
Oh,
The functions.
well, now just use it as it is.
you're talking
Do you have
about
functions?
right?
I know, but how do you have?
I don't have a menu. Look, the menu. Yeah,
You do have a
menu.
menu. I do not.
You activated it and then I just do cut, so where I'm at right now is that I activated it and then it shows the theme and I'm customizing it. See,
Oh, is that how you got around?
that's how I'm moving around.
All right, are you there?
Okay, you get back to my. Go
Thank
far,
you.
far back.
Yeah,
Don't wait.
yeah.
Well, you guys are too fast. This didn't take nearly as long as I expected it to take.
So a break.
That's
So
good.
break. I guess we can do an early break, and then when we come back, I would like us to go over the documentation, look at the template hierarchy, and just maybe pick up from here a little bit. But really, what I had planned for tonight was this, but we'll continue building up some more skills after the break. So let's do an early break.
It's funny, Seth, like what you just did. You totally. That's just. She's like,
Do that.
no, you're like, let's go break. And she's like, oh, no, break. Good break.
How we're probably thinking.
Maybe I should check my emails.
If you hear us screaming in the hallway,
Anybody have
Do
any?
you need a hallway buddy?
no, you have a restroom buddy.
Was it big?
Well, from us it was big. It was like this big was the tail. It was really
It's probably a rat.
Was like big around or
no, it was
length?
more long.
Okay. Huh. They're fine. They're really not. You think it's almost like a cat.
It's almost like a cat.
It's where cats were.
It's almost
Just think
like
of
a
it as
cat.
like a tiny cat.
Or don't.
You think of it as a tiny cat.
Yeah.
They don't freak me out. I think they're cute. That's why I think of it as so tiny. Really? They're so cute. They're all so cute.
Big rats.
That's very soft.
They are very soft. I mean, I would take one of some.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Did I just get invited to a fraternity, sorority?
I got that too.
What is it?
It's a Seattle Central, like,
Honor
some sort of,
Society?
yeah.
Are you gonna do it?
I just didn't read the email. I didn't even read it. What is it?
It says benefits include scholarship opportunities not available to non-members.
What do you do
It's
to join
an
Phi Theta Kappa?
international joining. To meet Tuesday or Wednesday, the 18th or 19th. Members to answer questions in November. Orientation will be held. One-time membership fee of $75. But here we go. Yeah, no, never mind.
I'm still not understanding why mine doesn't show amendment. Like this, it's right here.
Yeah, right. Not, never been invited to join the Honor Club before. Let me delete those for a second. What are you doing?
I don't know why my menu didn't show because I just I'm trying to figure that out because this is
Maybe I didn't really have
because I have it here. Oh well.
Ooh.
Widgets underneath appearance.
Correct. Although they might be. Yes, they're under appearance. Why is yours red? No.
Oh, I chose
Go to customize. Oh, there it is. That'd be why.
So it might be this product. It's the same color.
Oh, but like so back here. Oh, see, because everything on here is blue. It's like the interface to me is different. For you. Interesting. You probably are able to update that. Like, that's kind of cool.
Kind of. But why don't
You really don't like blue.
you
A trigger.
Do you like my new song?
do it?
Sublime, I don't know why it isn't. It is The CSS file, what CSS was the file proposed.
I don't see star change your interface too.
Yeah.
So are we back from break? What are you guys doing?
Sure.
Sure, I think we are. All right, here is what I was thinking of doing for the remainder of the class. I would like to divide up the different theme files from the hierarchy here, shown on this side. And then different students are going to take a different theme, and then you're going to research, and then we're just going to share the information. Because it's a little tedious, but we need to know what goes into each of these files. So let me count up the people, and let me count up the humans and the themes, and then we'll split it up, give you some time to research, and then present as a roundtable. How does that sound? Okay. And also, maybe before you start, just also give you a couple extra minutes to read over the codex for the template hierarchy. But we don't understand what the template hierarchy is, do we? Do we understand what is the reason we're looking at this?
Does different pages pull off of those different files?
Because we could add up to all of these pages into our template, into our WordPress template. And this is everything that is available for you. And we're going to build up, and maybe you never really need to use all of them, or maybe you do, but ultimately, if you had the most elaborate WordPress theme, you'll essentially customize everything. To customize everything, then you just need to know and make your own page for each of these pages. Does it make sense?
And then a basic level of WordPress, you use the same files like the functions. You just add the stuff to the function file. Like the first theme I did, I used the same index, single, and page, the same page, the same HTML. Right. I didn't change anything, so you understand, like you can do that.
Right, and actually, thank you for reminding me. So here is another way to think about what you're doing. Let me show you your homework for this week, which you might or might have not seen yet. Who is on top of things and check their homework? Okay. Just kidding.
It's just a weird thing, right?
No, you guys are on top of things, but no. Oh, did you see the announcement? I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked, but this is something I meant to say in the previous class and I forgot. Did you see my announcement about the Bike Club? You can consider joining. It's really fun and nice way, especially maybe for you because you know. But for all of you, and it's a good way to connect, and you can put it on your CV. So consider participating and to join. A little low tech right now. I don't think there is a form, so you can just email Roman and tell him I would like to be added, or you can show up. email Roman, tell him you'd like to be added, and then after that you start receiving his emails with notifications as to when the next meeting is. I usually try to make it as well, and we're bringing Blake Freeman to talk about artificial intelligence in this fall. So this is well, last year we did a lot of talks. Not we, I guess. I'm just an informal advisor, but the students. There was a talk on digital privacy. There was a talk on artificial intelligence. There was a talk that Ed Messerly and I gave on will robots take our jobs. We had a GitHub workshop, and we need to do another one, I think, because it was very confusing for everyone.
Yeah.
Were you there? Was anyone there?
No, I just don't know how to use it.
Yeah. How
Yeah, it was my
confusing?
friend Danny.
Yeah, it was
Well,
with Danny.
everybody was just getting it, like everything set up properly. It was confusing.
Yeah.
You only do it so much in a matter of.
So we need to do another one of those as well. But these are the kind of things the club has done. And if you have some ideas or you know something or you prepared something you want to present, then you can make a proposal and the talk would be scheduled. Usually the biggest challenge is finding the right the time that usually not everyone is available at the same time. So that's a challenge. But anyway, I think it's great. And if nothing else, it has the coolest name, right? Byte Club. Can beat that. All right. Let's see. So we're on assignment 4. So your assignment is going to be to create a wireframe for your homepage, and you can use whatever tool you like. And the reason why is because you can work then. You're going to then transform for the duration of the class this wireframe into what?
Your
Into
template design.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So we'll have several assignments.
Oh my gosh.
And
What does that do?
Are we doing a 960 or a 940 grid?
the 960,
I think that's one of the most important parts of the grid.
yeah, the grid is important. I haven't included this here, but so we need to talk about it. This one is, you just didn't include it right now. This one is more to just get you started, and you don't have to be, married to your wireframe, but at least to have something down. And the requirements that I selected for the first assignment would be make it black and white, don't put colors, use placeholder images, put actual text for the headings so it's more clear on what page we're on, and Lorem Ipsum or variation thereof for paragraphs, and include navigation, and make sure that it's clear what page you're on, right? And consider you'll be implementing the design, so think about that. What can you do? Hey.
So now for now, this is just a single page, right? Just one page.
Yeah, it's going to be a home page, right? And follow the best design practices. And when you create it, download it as a PDF and then upload it. It's the Canvas is going to accept only a PDF attachment for this assignment. Any questions or comments or suggestions, maybe? Or?
I have not been introduced to the best website design practices. Is that just like general?
It's not really. So what I had in mind was more when I teach Web 105 or when Mike teaches it, and we talk about various aspects. It's not really one site. I can share some materials with you, but didn't you all take Web 105?
Then can I say something?
Yeah, please.
So if you have, can I have the pen?
This is my laser pointer. So let's. You want the laser pointer?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, all right.
So
We can talk about some web design. I guess we can
so
find.
this is something that works for me. So the next step is to integrate the HTML CSS into our own theme. So we have to have your theme. In other class we did a 3-column, right? 3-column grid.
Is this your advanced class?
No, this is the Ravens class.
Okay.
We did a 3-column grid, and then the 960 grid. So for you guys look that on your 960, look that up.
Hopefully everyone knows
So
it.
what I did is like I went on. For me, it was easier. Instead of writing the whole code and doing the whole thing, I went in CodePen and found a 960 grid theme, and they give you a basic HTML and CSS, and you just integrate that in the theme that we're building, and you can get a responsive theme at CodePen.
It's
That's-
a great idea.
That's what I did. Instead of breaking your head and writing the CSS and all the percentages and all that stuff, like I don't have time to write all the percentages if I know that. I went in CodePen and you look for a theme, you look for a 960 grid or 3-column, 4-column, and it shows you a bunch of like options, and they give you the CSS and HTML, and then from there you start adding the widgets and start adding all this stuff. Once you have the theme working, the CSS and HTML, you can move on to the next step. That works for me. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
great. In fact, if you like, please post. I don't know if you can find it or just have to search CodePen, but at least could you post CodePen? I know we all know it, but it's good to have it as a discussion reference. Could you do this, Mario?
Yeah, so
Thank you. That's great.
I'll
So-
post it. I put the look for the grid that.
Yeah, I think it's always great to get some tips like that or some help to get you started. That's great. As far as tips, I mean, you need to know, have more white space, navigation, and this kind of thing. Oh, yeah, so, yes, the navigation menu. And you had a question some time ago? Okay.
Can I do some symbol to like basically look up?
So, would you like to do it?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean for the tool?
Yeah. it's called the tool.
Again, you can use any tool you want because you should be able to save a PDF from anywhere.
I don't understand how
So
this
anyway,
works.
whatever tool you still convert to PDF.
Yeah, whatever you do, save it as a PDF, and you should figure out, you should be able to do this. Everyone in Web 1 you should be able to save it as a PDF, right? I'll let you guys figure this out. So, okay, so this was the assignment, and where were we going with this? Why did we talk about that? Oh, because how does this connect with the templates? Well, this is how. And now just give me 1 second to count up the number of students and the number of templates, please. Oh, we have more than 10, great. So,
What's that website called?
What's this website? This is one I made.
you know what, let me assign some work and then I'll come and look at it, okay? Just give me a second. All right, we have it
You
up.
haven't put it on the web.
Like in boxes and drag and drop. Yeah.
Okay, so how about star, you take homepage,
Homepage? What's the,
set front page. I'll just assign them like this. List single post,
I'm single post.
yes, please. Jeremiah, single page. I forgot your name. Sorry, I forgot your name. Okay, so you'll be assigned the category. Do you see it's right here? And then geotag, Sofian, custom, please. Eric, custom post. Piano, author display. Author display.
Okay, got it.
And then Mario, how about you take a look at all the rest? I think.
Stanley, I just posted the example on discussions.
Great, so that's awesome, thank you. So you can use this as a reference for your work.
So what do you want us to present, like what it does?
Yeah, I mean, just give an overview because we need to know all this. So just, you're going to say this is what you use it for and just anything else that you feel. Yeah. Sure.
What I meant.
So let me, before you start, just one more second here to show you something that should help you out.
Because that was for me. That was like the fact that I had the thing ready instead of breaking my head. That was like, there's no. Like this.
Calm examples. Okay, so please go ahead and.
So this is the example that I used in on a project that I actually got paid for, and So I started with this like basic, and you see like this is a responsive three column example. Is ready. It doesn't have a navigation. The navigation you can get it, build it, whatever, and it's responsive already. So they give you the HTML, the CSS. You put that on the one right here. You put it on the style. Then the other one in index pages. This other index pages, and then you have it responsive already. Of course, you have to do tweak it here and there, and on at least understand what you're putting there, and it gives you different options. You can analyze it. You can. So this is even just for practice. This works for me. I don't know. I wanted to share it with you guys, and it's responsive too. So I use that as a framework for projects.
Okay, so it's a great idea. You don't have to use it, but it sounds like a really good idea to use it, right? It will help you out. Thanks. So, okay, so what we said was we're going to take a few minutes for everyone to read what is the template hierarchy. So please read essentially down to here. And then after that, read your particular assigned page. It will take maybe 10 minutes or so to do this. And then in 10 minutes, we'll review, share information, and we should be done. Okay? And let's see, Piano had a question.
Because I missed one page. So is that not in the right folder? It's not in.
So your home.
Just
You're going to read it about it. You have to read all this first.
Okay, thank you.
also I wanted
I
to
want to
make.
show you something else. I want to show you how you can find this for yourself. Okay? So if you go here, right, I need to change the name, but this is the steps. If you go to the site navigate, this is the name. This is
Oh,
the
okay,
name.
got it.
So down the content. And this is where
Supposed to be there.
you put your first thing. You can either drag it or you can create a folder and then drag it.
Oh,
So let's make this now.
Makes sense.
And make sure that you get the right name. First thing.
Got it. Understood. So please send me that link.
This link?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll post it. I guess that's good.
Please.
Yeah. I'll post it in the discussions as well.
Thanks.
If you Google WordPress hierarchy, it takes you right there.
That too. Actually, I'll just put it on the modules though.
I still don't understand that thing very well. When I look at the picture I still don't understand.
Which one?
When I look at the hierarchy
Oh,
example,
no.
I still get a little like maybe I do.
Too much hierarchy.
I also came to the conclusion that I might not understand everything. So
You can still make it work.
if it comes back, it's the next. If it doesn't, it's okay.
Piano, I put it under the week 4 modules. Okay.
Yes.
One of the pages that have functions or the custom pages. I guess,
So, excuse me, sorry.
Huh?
And you say I need to do the auto display the topic, my discuss topic, right?
Oh, honestly, I
Everyone
don't.
can done that.
I think I said auto display.
Yes. So follow the steps and
But you just have to read this page.
review this
You
page.
should just read it and make sense of one particular, just pick one of this and make sense. You can say single clause, simple does this, or you just pick one and then just
So it's a
make
one.
sense and explain, talk to everybody about it. Just pick one thing and you talk to everybody about like the functionality of that particular
WordPress, because you can do
file
stuff
on the
and then
there.
literally just see it. You don't have to upload it.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
Really nice.
Well, at least that's what I figured out.
I think so too. That was the plan. There you go. Back to.
This shit right here. This is really confusing. Like, I mean, it's not really, but it's the way it's worded. Yeah. It's,
Just goes front. But it's weird because like it has you to home. Or
Does
maybe,
does it have you keep front page?
or he has you do the index.
Okay.
He has you do one and then the other.
Because it's weird that here explanation front page display, but here for the home page display, the Homer index.
About 3 more minutes, so is this enough time? Are you guys all ready? Okay. Well, then let's get started. So, who wants to tell us what is this template hierarchy all about? In your own words. What is the idea? Start.
Well, the idea is that all of your files, there's a set structure that WordPress expects you to stick to, and one thing goes to the next one, and if something's out of place or isn't named properly or placed in the right location, like your hierarchy is going to fall apart and it's not going to work right.
Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Okay. Any other comments, Sophia?
It's like we have a lot of files, and we generate only the files that we need on which every page that you stay.
When you say generate, do you mean code, or can you tell us what you mean by the word generate here?
You call
I guess, are you talking about the developer or WordPress? So,
WordPress.
okay, WordPress, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
choose for you like the page that you need for that special post page. But you have a lot of other files that you're not using only. You only use files in the page that you.
Right. And if you don't have a file, if you don't, like I said before, I think, if you don't have a file for a specific page, let's say you didn't make the 401.php, how would that work? What would WordPress do then?
Isn't it the default?
Go to the default.
It's going to go to the default. Right? Should we add anything else? I think that's pretty much, that's what you need to understand. Right? There is a specific structure. If you have the custom, it's going to use the custom. It has its own process of going through the hierarchy with the query strings. And if it doesn't find what it's looking for, it will use the
Can you
default.
set it to look to like be directed to a certain page?
I don't see the value of it. You probably can, because
you-
it's all called, but it seems like it's more efficient to just follow the process of the search of the query string and then put your files if you want them to be found and not
Gotcha.
to be found. Right? And also when we're talking about the templates, I think Seth was asking this question. So again, we have a separation between the content. So you already have your content on your page. Where will the content come from in the template? Where is the content of the page stored? And this was not spoken about here, but it seems like we should talk about it. So that is going to be in the database. So the content is in the database, and then this is just your template is the look. But no matter what your look of your site is, WordPress pulls
So
the
every time
content
you
from.
post a new something, it goes into the database.
Right. And this is why one of the reasons that WordPress is nice is because it saves you. I mean, we're doing PHP, and you see how much work there is. So WordPress is doing all this for you, right? You set up the database, or maybe you didn't even have to set up a database because we use the auto install, and now you have a lot more functionality. Okay, well, let's go over the pages that are assigned to you. Starting with the home page, the front. Did I assign the front page or
The home page.
The home page. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you like, I don't know if you want to come up here, but anyway, here's a. Do you want to point at something?
I don't need to point, but
Just make sure that everyone can hear you.
okay. The homepage is what you guys all know is basically the homepage. But by default in WordPress, the homepage is set for as a blog post. So I think you have to go into the settings in order to change it. It can be a static page, but by default. And then if you don't use the naming convention home PHP, it automatically looks for an index PHP. But Seth is going to get into the front page, which is even more confusing about naming conventions for all the same thing and having multiple names that you can or cannot use. Or I guess you can use all of them.
I was laughing because I was standing behind you. So that was reminded me of some other incidents. People standing behind other people.
That was, wait, what? I don't know what that means.
All right, Seth.
You're trumping me.
So my understanding of the front page is it's like your main landing page that when people go to your site, that's what shows up. It overrides the home and or index. And it can display your latest blog post, or it can be a static page. Yeah, I think that's it. If you don't have one, I think it goes to the home, and if not, there's no home then page and then the index.
So
So next, we have a single post.
Yep. So a single post is like just your average blog post. And so it's the styling that would render the single post. And so the way the hierarchy works is if you have a slug in your single post, it'll render that one first. If there is no slug, it'll simply render a single post type. And if there's no post type, then it'll just do the single. And if there's no single, then it goes to singular. And then if there's no singular, it just goes to index.
Thank you.
What's the slug?
That's like keywords
Okay.
or
It's a part of the permalink. Remember we were looking at it.
Thank you, sorry.
That's fine. Yeah. Ask any questions you have. Next, we have Jeremiah.
Single page, I guess it's just a custom file is used to render it to static page. And it's called either the slug or the ID. If they can't find that, it'll go to the singular page name. If it doesn't find it, it'll go to the index.
Category, category is used to source and group content before we publish our post.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the hierarchical order. You said that. Right?
The category hierarchy, I think, is like we can divide the content of our website and split it into the many category to give it many the content and it also the good keywords when some how to say it's a good keywords for SEO.
Okay. Thank you. Jill?
The tag seems to be similar to a category. It's a way to find the archive index pages, I guess. And it's got a similar hierarchy for the slug, and then if there's no slug, the ID, then it'll just go to the tag, and that's the archive and the index.
Okay. Thanks. And then is it your next?
Yeah,
Okay.
is that taxonomies?
Taxonomies, I think. Good taxonomies?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's right.
so taxonomies is like, in science it means classification, and in WordPress it's like a method which you can use to classify your content. Like if you work in like on your website, like you have a lot of countries, we use custom taxonomies. You can group your content by countries, for example. It's a method of classification. That's it.
Thank you. And this is the taxonomy of the taxonomies. Can we say that?
Taxonomies, the taxonomies. It's hard.
All right. And next we have Eric for the custom post types, please.
So custom post, I gathered that it's for someone wants to make a certain type of template, like for a product or something. Have maybe sort of a specific type of classification first, like a certain type of product, and then grouped by maybe its features or availability or something like that, and then basically like a less specific category that's contained within. So like the first example would be the number one there would be the most specific product type, and then number two would be like a group that falls under maybe, and then three, the index would be the most broad. But it's has its own extension, its own slug for each of those two. But yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of information that I could find right there, so I Googled some. That's what I came up with.
All right. Thank you.
At the displays, and I try on the website and want to know the others information. You just type in his name, his first name, and then back to his name, and we search the related articles. So then get information like a kind of like a search tool display.
Okay.
They have a typo.
Where is the typo?
Here it says if the author's nice name is Matt
Oh.
instead of nickname.
Because I'll do
Name
the,
and ID.
I'll do the ones that are self-explanatory. Search results.
Yeah,
It
they did
goes,
it twice.
it looks for that file, then access the database, and if it doesn't find information in that file, it goes by default to index, and then the 404 file. The not found file by default does exactly the same, goes there, renders the file if the website is under construction.
Okay. Well, I think that's where we ended with this. So hopefully this was helpful. I do have one other reference for us to take a look at. This is actually a companion from the book. Actually, two things I wanted us to do, and then I will let you go. I would like us to look at the PHP file, index.php one more time so we can again look what is there. Sorry about this. And then we can actually, you know what? Let's see here. Let's do it in the following order. First, we're going to look at this reference. So this is going to, again, show you the themes. And it's nice because it gives you a different view. It's going to give you some theme description. So you can actually look at the code or maybe even starter code for each of these files, right? So these are a subset, I believe not all of them. These are a subset, yes, of the files from the theme hierarchy, but there are quite a few of them. And now you can take a look here and see the descriptions as to what goes in the files. And maybe let's start with the two that we uploaded. Now, these, even though they're the same index PHP, this has more, obviously more content, or not more content, but more HTML and more PHP than ours, right? But here is what it might look like, index.php. So we haven't talked about the header and the footer yet, but who would like to tell us about it? Is anyone familiar? The footer and the header in the PHP file? Right, so they're going to be, and maybe I'm not asking the right question. It's going to be the same. We're going to use the same header or footer in all pages because it's like an include because it has the same, you know, the same information. So here we're getting the header and we're getting the sidebar, and then we start the content. And then the loop you have heard probably the loop before, is what's going to allow you to display all available posts, and it will do so in the form of a as I think I showed this before as well, but if we have, so it's a if statement, and then within the if statement, we have a while loop, and then we produce the post, right? And then you do so for each of the available posts in the database. And there is a lot more than, I guess, we need to be concerned with right now, but hopefully you can glean some of it. It's a mix of PHP and HTML. Did everyone in the class take or is currently taking PHP? Okay, so that should help a lot, right? So we have here a blend of HTML and PHP. And the styles, again, it can be style. Keep on calling style. Sorry about that. Style. We have the heading or the top part, which needs to be included. And then after that, you can have some styling such as here, or you can have the CSS from the Mario's responsive. You could put it here. But you must make sure to keep the commented part in place, and that all the settings here that you have added are correct, and you should not be changing them after you upload it once, or it will mess up your thing. Okay? So it's an interesting putting together of HTML, CSS, and PHP. And it's another reference for you.
That
You
last
can-
statement that you made that you can't upload it again because it'll mess up your theme. What are you talking about?
Well, it's not you. It's nothing that you can't. You could, but it could be a problem. But let's say that let's say you uploaded your site,
Yeah.
and you called it our theme, and you gave it here some description.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, I don't like the theme, our theme. I want to make it Star's theme, but it's already active. This would be a problem.
Okay.
It can be actually fixed, but it's just a pain, and you just plan not to do it.
Okay.
Right? If your theme is activated and then you make changes up here, it will cause problems. So just plan ahead
Okay.
instead.
Thank you.
Even if you make a change to a style, so you leave that commented part out.
Or you can change the styles, but this is the part that you don't want to touch after. You
Okay.
want to finalize this before you upload it in your theme folder.
Thank you.
Okay? And essentially, for the remainder of the class, not tonight, but the classes, we're going to build up more themes, add more content, and just build up a more, still not a super advanced theme, but a more advanced theme than we have right now. And this will be a final project. And also, we have to cover a few more UI components of the WordPress dashboard and so on, and I will sneak those in as well. But this hopefully will make it a little more interesting and challenging. But otherwise, do you have any questions or
Maybe
comments?
you can get an advanced theme and try to modify it. So you can
If you want to try that might be, especially if we have time, this might be a nice. We will talk about modifying things, but maybe not advanced. But if you have something, I would like to invite all of you, if you're working on something related but is not covered, feel free to share it. That's great. And next time we're going to have Mark again. So I think from this point, I'm going to have open lab for the remainder of the class, so you can research wherever you need to or finish up. Okay? Yeah, thanks, Mario. See you next.
A couple of questions, sorry.
Can you just give me 1 second?
Sure.
I just want to turn off my recording real quick.
Cool.